Hello, CCA folks! I am Krakenmare, joined by the amazing Cactus. How are you doing, Cactus?
I'm doing very well, excited for an amazing matchup we have today. Krakenmare, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm ready for this Division 2 Finals. Splatlanders versus WALC of Purdue. Fantastic jeez, this is finals. This is not little, Cactus. Amazing matchup here. I mean, this is a little bit of an interesting matchup. This is what we weren't expecting to have for grand finals of Division 2.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, taking a look at this amazing graphic we have on screen here. Splatlanders from NJIT, currently with a solid record of 7-0. Looking to continue that moving forward with We Aquatic Little Creatures, or WALC for short, which is what we'll be referencing to them as the rest of the finals for today. Over from Purdue, looking at a 5-2. Looking to see if they can increase that to a 6 and just bring it all home, as both teams are going to be raring to go and making sure they can take it all.
Yeah, both teams wanting to take it all, but hey, and we have some fun maps too in this one. I want to highlight, it's a BO9, and we start off on Splat Zones, which is Splatlanders have a 100% win rate on this one, Cactus.
100% win rate is insane to just look at on this, especially looking at all the others. The 50s here, 60s here, 83% on tower is actually also pretty wild to see, but I mean, 100% on zones. Whatever it is that Splatlanders have under lock, they have it figured out, and they're looking to keep that 100% looking at the game one that's going to be on Hagglefish.
Yeah, Hagglefish being game one, and they have 3 Splat Zones in there. So assuming the 100% win rate can continue, that is 3 semi-guaranteed victories in that. If they want to keep the 100% win rate, that will be a 3-0 situation already on the board for them. Of course, we haven't even started playing this, Cactus, so that may not end up being the case. We Aquatic Little Creatures, or WALC, do not want to see that rate continue to be at 100%. They want to keep their 67%, which is their highest percentage, up there, if not increasing it throughout this set. And if they can take some of those games, I think that would be a good way to kind of mentally get at the Splatlanders, who might then start to overthink things and whatnot in this.
Yeah, absolutely, because at the end of the day, it really comes down to a mental game. Whatever it's a warm-up, a tournament, you name it, it's going to be that mental game of those little things that start to build up slowly. And if you think too much about it, you're going to cause yourself to slowly fall apart. You're going to lose your momentum. You're going to lose your synergy. And that's the last thing that the Splatlanders are going to want. And same with WALC, right? I mean, Splatlanders, again, looking at that 100%, I'm sure they're feeling very confident that the first match they get to play on is a zones game. But if WALC is able to take this as a walk in the park, I mean, they're going to be feeling really good knowing they took away that 100% from Splatlanders.
So this is actually a rematch from the regular season. I want to highlight this. So Splatlanders won their group. Obviously, they are 7-0. They swept their group. And then WALC, of course, they snuck in on tiebreakers. It took to the second tiebreaker to get in. They were in a 3-way tie for second at 3-2. The week 1 matchup, it was week 1, so you're talking 2 months ago, beginning of the semester. Some people are already out of school, if not majority of folks are already out of school at this point. 2 months plus ago, you're talking, and it was a 4-1 victory in favor of Splatlanders, sorry, excuse me. And so a lot has changed since then, but nonetheless, this is it's interesting that we have such a rematch. That means that group was a really tough group, and both teams managed to make it out of there, and now we see them again.
Yeah, absolutely. And taking some information that we were given to us from the comments these teams had, looking at WALC side with their interview, they're ready for this week 1 rematch. They've maybe learned a lot in these past 2 months. They've made a lot of adjustments that have, they must have changed something that gotten them this far all the way to finals. So they're ready to go whenever these games will soon be starting. They're very optimistic for the result after building a strong chemistry Lost 2 members, but they did pick up Veckel in the offseason to have sorry, one more time. Okay, a Veckel in the offseason to have tight 4 roster currently, and no matter the outcome, they want to improve over the offseason.
Yeah, a big grind from them, and we highlighting a little bit of what they had done in playoffs. None of their playoff matches were really that like just a sweep for either team. Splatlanders, they had a 5-3 set versus SCAD Black, and then WALC barely got over Springfield, Ohio with a 5-4. So both of these sets are going to be really close. I think it's going to be a close one. And we see some interesting things, Cactus. We see 2 tenths already.
I love to see the 2 tenths right off the bat. I also love seeing a Dreadringer, of course, for some zone cheese that going to pop up on the field. Cooler's going to come out right away on the side of Splatlanders with WALC trying to play a little bit of defense here. Here goes Hyun going forward with the roller, getting one, but a nice trade-off will go on the field as it's going to be by the pencil. Here come all the specials just going on out, and it's going to be the Splatlanders taking control of the zone, getting a short little lead here, forcing the members of WALC to back up here and just build up their specials one more time.
Yeah, we have pretty much what we expect from both of these teams for the most of the set, by the way. These weapons are pretty much what they run. Some interesting things, the Crab. We've seen a lot of Crab this weekend for those that have been watching other tournaments around. But we see the Crab going down, getting punished, Cactus. And here come the Splatlanders going for the lockout, trying to get up to that ramp.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job at being aggressive, but unfortunately, that's going to backfire on them as they go 2 players down, that being their front lines. But a nice Zuko reverse will get 2 players down, and it's just like that. Splatlanders take control back of the zone and take a little bit more space with it as they're getting as much paint down on the ground as they can, build up those specials for even further offensive push to try to break through WALC's defense.
Some tent-on-tent crime, Cactus. WALC's tent wins that fight, but it's going to be... yes. I believe it was the WALC tent that won. Either way, eye for an eye at the end of the day. We see this player trying to shark. The Dreadringer wants the kill, but they're swarmed on every single side. The Reef Slider moment on the edge of the ramp isn't going to go over the ramp. That's an unfortunate position to be in as someone who has been in that position. That's a really unfortunate. You know you're going to go down.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, doing a great job is Clover on the field, getting a nice pick on the temp player on Splatlanders. Cooler will now be popped out. They're fighting for control of this zone with 30 penalty points still to their name. Clover doing a great job at trying to catch a player on the side, but Sion will get 1. Trading off again will be Electronic there, grabbing their Cooler, seeing the Slosher on the left side, flanking around this angle, trying to find 1 player. They will get 2, and that will be 3 down situation for Splatlanders.
Complete effective wipe there. They're going to get a chance to completely clear up to the ramp. This is the first time we've really seen that too much. Earlier in the game, we saw Splatlanders attempt to do so. They weren't able to clear it up, and we see that WALC themselves are going to go ahead and lose 1 or 2. But it's going to be close. They may be able to bring this up to the lead. We're almost there, Cactus. Oh, just shy. It's going to get neutralized.
Oh, Kraken, they almost had that there. Bubbles popped, I believe, for the first time in this match. That's going to help them take a little bit more space and cap this zone right before WALC could get that lead swap over. We do see Sion on the side there, maybe trying to go on for a side flank here. Zone's going to keep being held. Sion doing a great job at backing up here, staying safe, playing around their team, which is really keen here, especially because their penalty points are counting down. They're going to try to go in to get 1. They're looking at 2. That's a full wipe with the combo with the Reef Slider.
First time we've seen folks get past the ramp this game. This is lockout position, Cactus. Without something crazy going on here, this will be a game for Splatlanders. But 1 member goes down and the Zuka finds nothing. Cooler on Cooler crime. Let's see in this final push by WALC, can they take the zone? 7 ticks remain. Here they come.
And with that, unfortunately, it's not going to be enough time for WALC to get on in. And that's going to be Splatlanders keeping that 100% alive, taking game number 1 of the Division 2 Finals.
Game 1, Zones, keeping that 100% win rate that we highlighted prior to. But until we had that big push, Cactus, It was really back and forth. I mean, we had WALC almost take the lead back prior to the push, where they got up into their spawn to lock them out. And it's something I think the replay will just miss. There's going to be a Zuka. It's blocked by the Tacticooler. The Tacticooler. Yeah, I think we're going to just see it. Look at this. It gets blocked by the Ted Shield, gets blocked by the Tacticooler, and gets punished by the Roller, who jumped back in. Really well played there. Good. That Tacticooler was actually MVP in that game.
Tacticooler putting all in the work for a strong defense, making sure that Zuka couldn't go forward and get any picks. And like you mentioned, Crackermare, it really was a back and forth that entire game until a full wipeout occurred. And we saw the Splatlanders pretty much rush immediately to WALC's plat and take over the tent area and just hold all of that space. And it really put WALC in a dangerous situation. And at the end there, they tried to make their way forward, try to find a way in, but whether it was the defense of the cooler or just not enough time on the clock, it just wasn't enough and they couldn't get back in time.
But it does make me really, really excited for the rest of this set, Cactus, as we are looking into our Game 2 tower control on Ship Shape Cargo. What do you think some keys on this map as we're kind of getting into our Game 2?
So, especially on the first checkpoint, you're going to want to keep clear the grates that you could have anything from a backline to a solid midline or even the tent shield kind of hold over. Once you're able to secure that front area and clear that underneath pit, you really have a nice clear shot at a flank opportunity as well as clearing that first checkpoint and start moving towards the right side with the second checkpoint in that whole center area for a lot of paint control. I know a lot of players will take that bottom right first instead of the front grates, and that leads to a lot of players being able to get Zuka'd out or rushed forward by another player. So it's going to be a lot of just surrounding control you're going to need if you want to have a successful push on this map.
Yeah, you gotta push up together. You know, that tower, it can go really fast because this is only a 2 checkpoint map. A lot of other maps are 3 checkpoints. This one you only have the one on the stack, and you have the one when it turns that bend there on the pusher's right side, the defender's left side. Those are the only 2 checkpoints on this map. So it goes really fast between checkpoint 1 and checkpoint 2. You have to move up really quickly, and as defenders, you kind of have some really nice advantages at time that you can just kind of sit there and let the tower come to you because it just zooms right up there. So once you already lose checkpoint 1, just really start focusing on checkpoint 2 in that corner and holding it. And we've seen that a lot when this map gets played in other games.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, patience is really key when it comes to this map. Like you mentioned, only 2 checkpoints. So if you have one already counting down, just kind of reset yourself, reset with your team, build up your specials, and look forward into that second checkpoint. But here we on go. We are going to see a little bit of a comp change from both sides. I already see Wanna Splat going with the Sorella that has Inkjet, which is going to be really good on this map with the different elevation levels.
I'm surprised we don't see tents trying to clear out the grates. I really am a little bit surprised, but that Brello, the regular Brello, the Sorella, as you pointed out, can do that same job. But on the other side, WALC has no tent whatsoever, but something like a tent can, a crab can kind of do that. And speaking of the crab, here it is, on tower. It can also push tower really well and use that ball mode to kind of defend itself if you don't get ping-ponged around by 2 members of Splatlanders, Cactus.
I gotta say, that was a beautiful maneuver, just getting bonked around, unfortunately getting picked there. Strikes will come out from Chris, trying to move forward with some space, getting Xian in. Will they find a pick? No, the pencil will spot them out and get them out. It is a 2v2 on the board with Splatlanders coming in quickly thanks to the cooler. Players are now going to try to push this tower forward as jumps are going to be in. With cooler on both sides, it's going to be a fight for first checkpoint still, but WALC is carrying just a little bit more with the points on the leaderboard.
Yeah, through the first minute, neither team even has reached the first checkpoint. Such a back and forth, both teams going back and forth. But in this case, Splatlanders finally gets 2 down, and they're going to push up. We see the bubble from the roller along with the Inkjet. They're going to clear out the grates and start to push up on this top left. WALC is starting to have to go backwards, and they have to give up first checkpoint. But as I kind of point out, this second checkpoint is the key to victory. We'll see if WALC can hold it. And right now, they have some really good defensive locations there with the pencil.
Yeah, definitely. Like we mentioned before, when the match started, you want to kind of reset yourself once you get past that first checkpoint. If you're in a defensive line, so you can block that second one, and doing a great job at that. 3v3 on the board now. WALC is finally escaping that threshold that they have to start moving forward. Veckel on the machine's doing a great job of poking forward, getting down the roller, which is huge, making sure that roller can't sneak forward anywhere else. Booyah will get kind of rushed down here, trying to find a good opportunity to throw a space some players out right at the perfect time for the crowd to come out for this first checkpoint.
Inkjet goes down. Cactus a sniper. Gets an assist on another one, but almost has two there, helping with two going down. They have not cleared out the grate, so I think they're going to struggle to push too far here, Cactus. But with two members, including the roller of Splatlanders, going to come around this left side. If they can keep them at bay, which they are able to get two more down again, they might be able to push this. Yes, 3 down, Cactus, on Splatlander's side.
Yeah, Crackerman, that's amazing. 3 players down, you love to see it. I love the comp that WALC went for with the machine and blaster comp. Really ledge heavy, especially if you want to get to that second checkpoint. And just look at the scoreboard. They were 1 point away from the lead, but got shot down with 2 players going down. But it's great to see that those players recognize that and backed up. But with Sion just demolishing here, getting 2 players down, WALC is forced to back all the way up, practically into their spawn area, as Splatlanders are wasting no time to take more space.
If you guys didn't notice, WALC tied the score. And in this game, if you tie the score, the team that scored that score first continues to hold this lead. If this lead holds, WALC is going to be kicking themselves in the rear because they tied the score. But Splatlanders scored first. But anyways, there is a minute and a half remaining of this game. Plenty of time, especially if they're going to get 2 members down on the side of Splatlanders. WALC going to also go 2 down, though. So I think this push is not going to necessarily get the lead on them unless they can get another pick or 2.
Yeah, no, they did a great job at getting those picks, but it might have been a little early as the tower wasn't pushed far enough for those to do just enough for them. A trade goes down in the pit area. It's still WALC with tower control. They are going to be 2-player advantage here. Popping Waitberg on the top right. All the players are put on the left side by Splatlanders, and with the Booyah Bomb coming out here, that's going to be a lead swap.
Lead swap is active, so they don't have to kick themselves in the butt if they lose this game on that initial or that earlier push. They're still fighting for it. Look at Veckel going for it. They're trying to get up their maneuver. No, they aren't going to win the 2v1. Their teammate does get one of them down, and great defense of these jumps by WALC. They're going to continue to hold control of mid here. Numbers advantage still. With 30 seconds remaining, this tower is finally going to go down, but not a huge numbers advantage as a couple of WALC members are going to jump out. But Splatlanders are going to try to take care of this top left area and try to get some push going. But can they control the WALC's top right, where we already see the machine and pencil firing from above?
Yeah, with only 5 seconds left to go, 2 players down for WALC. Splatlanders are now rushing forward, trying to get these picks, being very aggressive here, making things difficult for the Splatlanders trying to go forward, but that's going to be a quick stop as players will get off the tower and WALC jumps on, tying the score 1-1.
Oh, the roller didn't get the pencil by inches. They got chip damage on them. They didn't get an accurate swing. And then when the dualies got there, they were trying to get everybody and just kind of shot in the middle. I've done that many times, I will admit. But they were so close to getting it. We see this roller on a fantastic flank. It was a really good flank. I like the positioning, moving up with the team strike. They swing, they miss there. They're going to get some damage, or they run out of ink. I thought they got damage on the one of the swings there, but it doesn't look like they did. And then that dualies comes in and clears them out, Cactus. And it just comes down to the rest of the team is able to swarm with numbers advantage. And just like that, we are tied up at 1 apiece. We highlighted this is going to be a close one, much closer than their week 1. And right now, through 2 games, we are even.
Yeah, both teams put an excellent display of offense and defense that entire game, and it just came down to the right moments for WALC to take that second game, making a tied score looking into a third game of Rainmaker on Museum. But like you mentioned, that whole game was just a great display of what these teams have to offer, and they used a lot of their resources to their advantage. And that's what it's all about when it comes to a lot of these stressful moments that can appear throughout these game modes, with making sure that you're able to kind of reset yourselves, as we saw throughout many times of that game, players jumping back, building their specials, and taking good opportunities to distract certain players in offensive stances and be able to pressure where needed so you can take control.
Hey, Cactus, I want to highlight something as we get into our Rainmaker Museum game here in a few moments. They have identical win rates in Rainmaker.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I love to see that.
Of course, with Splatlanders, that is their third mode, while for WALC, it is their worst mode. But nonetheless, they have a 57% win rate. Both teams do. And I'll tell you what, I think I like that the Crab choices that we've seen. I think Crab is going to be really, really strong on this one, Cactus.
Oh, for sure. Especially with Museum, just having great opportunities on both the spinners in the center and on the plats. You're able to have a lot of great long-range pressure you can apply when trying to push for that first checkpoint, and even once you're trying to go even further. I know with the spinners on the plats, you're able to push higher up on the sides, but that's enough yapping from me. Here we go. The match is ready to go. The tents are back out and ready to push these Rainmakers, and we see a little switch up by Jerry going onto the Splatana Wiper.
Splatana Wiper, yeah, we... I've seen a competitive game have 8 Stampers this weekend, so you know what, or sorry, Wipers. So you know what, I'm kind of already wipered out, but here's another one for us. Why not? Here, look at this fast Splatlanders push already past the first checkpoint in the first 30 seconds. Cactus, and they get another 3 down. They just said, nah, I think they want to win this one, Cactus. Oh my god, that might have been one of the fastest games in CCA this entire year.
Well, you blinked, you missed it. The game is over. Splatlanders in only 42 seconds takes game number 2 in a dominant fashion. It's safe to say they were not tired of the Wipers at all from this weekend. They were ready to go, and they proved it with such an amazing push and just a complete KO.
That was... We're going to have to ask the stats team to go find what the fastest games are there. I think this is probably top 3. That was insane. No Rainmaker deaths in that entire game. I think maybe 1 death on Splatlanders. I think they saw there was 1 jump in early in the game. But they completely got 2 wipeouts back-to-back in that game. I mean, the replay is 50% of this game that our awesome producer Vapor is putting together. And... see this Rainmaker pinned in. They're really, really close, and bam, Rainmaker gets the kill, and it's just a free ride. The rest of the team had cleaned up the other 3.
I mean, talk about a great display of team synergy there, making sure they're all going off of each other. Whenever one gets a pick, they're taking those 2v1 advantages. They're making sure they're taking the space when it's viable to, and it all happened so quickly. Like I mentioned, if you blinked, you missed any opportunity that you had to see that game go on. That was incredible.
Oh man, Cactus, that is one of those games that just mentally dig at you. As a player who's been on both sides of that, Splatlanders are going nuts right now behind the scenes. I wish we had comms, because they would have been going insane. But I'll tell you what, on the other side, that hurts if you are a WALC. You're like, oh man, we had just taken that last game from them. We were doing so well. That mentally gets on there a little bit. So they're going to have to break through that little bit of mental barrier that they now had been set by Splatlanders into this next game, Clamblitz, which I believe is one of their little bit better modes for the side of WALC. Yes, this is their number 2 mode, while this is the worst mode for Splatlanders. So this is a good opportunity if you're going to have a game like that where it just, bing, you just get that quick 40-second-ish game that was, right? That would be one. This is a good opportunity to kind of flip that back, bring it back to 2-2, reset the set, and make it effectively a best of 5 at that point.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. After a quick game like that, knowing that you have a higher percentage opportunity to take a game, that being on Clam Blitz, on Crab Leg, you're going to try to use that to every advantage you know. And here we are, looking forward. Here we are going to see Chris switch to that Octo Shot that's going to have strikes to create some space. Similar comp still coming out of Walk as well. Both teams looking to rush through mid, pick up Clams on the way, see who's going to make the specials first, and who can get the first pick to open up an opportunity.
Drink for drink out. Here comes the clash of the teams. Specials from both sides. Clover looking for something. They get the jump out through the strike with the invincibility of the super jump. And one member effectively down each side with the jump out. But they jump back in. So Walk is going to go ahead and push up with their slight numbers advantage. Again, another trade coming out here, Cactus.
Yeah, picks for picks in the center of the map here. Players are all around trying to find their opportunities to go forward. Just when one team has 2 down, another has 2 more to counteract that. Push going for push. Here we go. Splatlanders trying to push on forward, but Walk is having a great display of defense here, painting up, getting this cooler ready, dropping it for their teammates on their plat, so they're able to go on in, find some players, and maybe get some picks away, take control of this mid, so that way they can try to find a push for themselves.
Ooh, this roller shark trying to get the tent. They do get the tent, but it does cost their life. But if you're the rest of the team, you're happy for that. There's no giant shield in mid. That's like 50% of the top that can be covered by the tent shield. In this case, though, they're going to go ahead and be eye for an eye again, Cactus. This is a very back-and-forth game thus far. With a slight advantage to Splatlanders, I think they have a slight pain advantage at this situation. But this Zuka's going to come out and get 2! And with another one going down a little bit before that, that is a numbers advantage for Walk. Walk's going to push up. They are throwing clams to each other. We see the dualies come in, and there's our first score, Cactus.
Oh, first score, but I'm not sure how further this push is going to go. With Clover, though, going on in, getting it down to 65, somehow staying alive, just enough to jump out in a player disadvantage, and players are jumping into mid on Walk to keep this mid control. That was a great display of a push and stay alive and keep that space needed, as now Sion's going to get pushed back thanks to the tent. Crab's on top of the Zuka to counter it. This is going to be a very tight game for Walk to try to take defensive of, and Splatlanders are trying to find opportunity to push forward.
They try to push forward. Yes, there's 3 down. This is their chance. They don't have the clams in hand right now. They just now have 8. And of course, this tent has the majority of, or enough to get the ball. There it is. There's the score. They miss it, Cactus. Can they stop the push? And they will. There goes the miss by Splatlanders. And that is a huge miss. But they still have their penalty in the background, Cactus. So they are still a threat to score, especially if they get 3 down like that.
Oh, Sion being the biggest threat of them all, getting a triple play there, trying to find an opportunity to go in forward now off this side angle, which they're going to attempt to do here with a nice squirrel backwards, bubble in the perfect spot. They just need a few more clams, shooing away one, getting another in their bubble. The power clam is going to be jumped and it's going to score, but with 3 players down, this might be a push over for Splatlanders.
I think that was 3 in 1 Zuka. Okay, it was 2 in 1 Zuka, and then 1 had died just before that. But that would have been an amazing triple Zuka. Great defense there. They had no follow-up on the side of Splatlanders. It ended up just being that 1 ball going in. Walk of Purdue hanging in there right now. 1.5 minutes remaining. They get 3 members down. They have a chance to score. Make that a wipeout. If they can get the clams, they can score again, but it doesn't look like they have the clams ready right now. There's the ball, but they're not going to score this. Maybe. No. Nope, Cactus. This is going to be the end of that push attempt.
Oh, and that's the last thing you want as your Walk to get a complete wipeout. Thankfully, a little bit of a cooler buff is going to help them be back in no time to protect their plat. Cooler, though, popped in retaliation by the Splatlanders. Getting down Sion on the roller is a huge opportunity for Walk so they can keep that defense going. Ball will be made. Tents coming in both at mid, going against each other, trying to keep this ball alive, but Azuka might try to counter it, and yes, it will. Player advantage in favor of Walk with 45 seconds left to go. They're trying to keep this up for the rest of the game.
Yeah, big thing here. Keep your life, but if you have an opportunity to score with how little your lead is right now, only being a ball and a couple clams, you want to score again if you're Walk. However, the biggest thing is controlling map and controlling life. If you have numbers advantage and you have the map, you have a good opportunity here to win this game. And they're going to go eye for an eye. Make that not eye for an eye with that. Dooley's also going down. Splatlanders are grabbing the clams. They have enough clams to make a ball. So we will have overtime pending this ball does not expire within the next 10 seconds, or Splatlanders taking the lead, Cactus. But make that 1 down. Can that be 2 down? Clover's looking for the second one. Teammate gets another. Numbers disadvantage for Splatlanders, but the Zuka is out, Cactus. 1 member alive.
Last member up. Here is the overtime. Remember, overtime is only 20 seconds, so they have to try to find a way forward. Sion will get 1, looking for another. That's going to be 2 players down. Splatlanders trying to go in and move forward, but with that, are they able to get scored in time? No, players are going to get picked off left and right. A great defense here by Apisto on the pencil. Not enough time, and WALC is going to tie the score once again, 2-2.
I'll tell you what, if you are WALC, you are breathing a sigh of relief. After that last game, you needed this one. You know, it's rare to say you need a game unless it's match point, but that's one where the mental, the morale of the team was going to tank if they lost this one. After that first or that third game where they got absolutely just walked over, completely destroyed in Rainmaker Museum. But in this case, they're not able to clean it up just fast enough. We saw the tent have to go into desperation mode. If they had another 5-10 seconds here, I think this tent shoots the shield forward. Instead, they have to try to force the play. And the pencil just goes, this is free, bro. Like, you can't do anything. I'm getting no pressure on me. I can just sit calmly, take the shots, and clean up the game. And they were able to do so. But the players of Splatlanders started to get those picks. And it almost was enough to get that game, Cactus, but a close Clan Blitz game, but nonetheless, we're an effective best of 5 after 4 games.
Yeah, and it's been very back and forth between both these teams, and that's something I love to see, especially at the competitiveness they're displaying for us. Looking to try to reset things at the game 5. It's going to be a Splat Zones on Mako Mart. So again, Splatlanders a lot more comfortable with the zones, with WALC being their highest as well. So far, record stands tall for Splatlanders at their 100% with that first game, and they're probably feeling pretty good that their next game again is on zones. But WALC has an opportunity to figure out what they might have learned from these past 4 games, especially from the first one, and what they might be able to do a little bit differently to see if they can take this game and get the upper hand.
If WALC can take either of these next 2 Splat Zone games, because obviously the one is at the end, so it would be game 9, they have to take it to that point. But if they can take this one, I'll tell you what, Splatlanders, because they're so proud of this 100% win rate, they can switch that mental morale kind of situation we had talked about a little bit ago, and that was WALC at the disadvantage. If they can take that, I'll tell you what, Splatlanders are going to be like, man, we lost our best mode. And with that numbers disadvantage, but they have the first points on the board. Splatlanders in control. WALC with the drinks, though. Drinks on both sides, Cactus. Numbers going back and forth, and that Zuka just did chip damage. That was an unfortunate shot.
Yeah, and WALC's going to be able to get a little bit of a cap to stall time with 3 players going down and all these jumps coming to mid. That might not be the best opportunity as players from Splatlanders are doing a great job of taking space and holding control as much as they can, but Apisto will get a nice pick on 1 in zone with the pencil's range. 2 players down. WALC has to try to play off this player advantage opportunity, especially now that the cooler is out, to try to take some space, let this counter build on down. The more space they take, the better, and the more they can move forward and put Splatlanders in a difficult situation.
But Splatlanders are going to take it right... there it is. There it is, Cactus. They're going to take it right back in the end. So it's still back and forth. We saw that in the first one. WALC had a good back and forth part until Splatlanders were finally able to get to that lockout point. And right now, with the back and forth, one player going down on one team, one on the other, as we saw in the Clan Blitz game and the first Zones game, because you see another one. Oh, nice Zuka flick. Make the roller get another one, and that's a wipeout. This is the lockout. Can they hold it like they did on Hagglefish Zones? The drinks are out, so they have an opportunity, even if they die, to get back in and defend this zone, Cactus.
I mean, look at this positioning by Splatlanders, doing a great job at facing each other out. Unfortunately, WALC did a great job at getting 2 players picked off, but since they were cooling up there back in mid, Zuka's coming out, trying to find one. Can't cancel that Reef Slide. Reef Slider will find another one. Zuka will counter that. It's going to be a player advantage still for Splatlanders in the center of zone. Roller will get picked off, trying to fight off the 10s. Both 10s passing each other as one goes for the heavy edit. Can they find it? No. The heavy edit finds the pick first. 10 behind them, just causing some mayhem. And the zone has still yet to flip on the side of WALC.
They have a numbers advantage here on WALC. With the pencil painting really, really fast, they finally get that penalty. They do not get locked out this time, Cactus. 2.5 remaining, plenty of time, and the points are now going in WALC's advantage. If they can get a pick or two here with this crab, they're going to be in a really bad situation for Splatlanders, and that crab's going to get canceled by the Zuka. A really good Zuka, but 2 for 2 on both sides. But the slider's gonna flip it, Cactus. Penalty of 27 going back on WALC.
You know, they were doing a really good job applying a lot of pressure, but Chris, with a solid triple there, secures a lot of space for Splatlanders. With 2 minutes left on the clock, that's exactly what they're looking for to try to build down these penalty points, shucking around these ledges to try to find some pick opportunities. But staying alive is going to be more important here than finding a good sharking spot. They want to be able to move forward if you're on the side of WALC, take some space, paint over zone. Azuka's going to come on out as the Clover is going to be on the side with the Blaster trying to poke that side. Zone's just being held by Splatlanders as long as it can, with the Reef Slider getting another pick.
But they go down immediately. But the Zuka, again, another eye for an eye situation here. And because WALC is slower painting with the weapons that are alive, they aren't getting the points. So they're not getting the cap back. So Splatlanders continue to get those points until the numbers can get into their favor. They're able to jump in, get a quick 40-ish penalty on them. Not much more for their side right now, but they get one more again. And with that, they're going to be able to get the flip. They have to get the lockout if they want to have this. With the paint disadvantage, anytime it's eye for an eye, it's an advantage for Splatlanders because their team just paints more, pending it's not like just the roller and tent alive. But if you have that bucket or the heavy like they do now, they have a decent paint if it's 2 for 2. But with the numbers disadvantage, Splatlanders are back, have their back against the wall with the numbers disadvantage. But again, we're going back to eye for an eye here, Cactus.
Yeah, absolutely. Players are just getting picked off left and right in a lot of trade scenarios, and WALC is the last thing they're going to be wanting is trades. They want to get those players advantages, but it seems to be very difficult for them to solidify that, like Splatlanders have been able to do this entire game. Splatlanders are going to be able to cap that zone once again, forcing the crab out from WALC, trying to find a pick on this Dread before it finds a pick on them. Can they find it? No, it's just getting them until they roll them over. That's an incredible pick. With only 15 seconds left to go, WALC is going to try to hold this as long as they can.
You got to find the Reef Slider. Right here, they have to find it because they're going to slide and just cap the zone. Here it comes. If the zone's flipped, they're not going to cap it in time. And bam, Splatlanders keeps the 100% win rate, Cactus.
You know, that felt a lot closer than it did than the first Zones game, as WALC found a lot of opportunities to trade back and forth for a lot of zone cap potential, but Splatlanders just had a lot more aggressive plays and a lot more wipeout opportunities, unlike WALC. Splatlanders did a great job, and especially at the end there, with that, the zone cheese with the Reef Slider, being able to secure it and make sure they had 2 players down on WALC to take that game, and I know they're feeling pretty good about that one.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now, if we get to Game 9 here, what WALC needs to do is they gotta switch up the comp a little bit, get a little bit more paint, because right now they just don't have the paint. They consistently have a number or a paint disadvantage when numbers are even, because the 2 heaviest painters are the back line, or the 2 more back players being the bucket and the heavy of Splatlanders, right? So with that, both of those players are staying alive really, really well, and sometimes they're popping off. We saw Chris get a fantastic triple in this. I think we're going to see that right now. Here it is. Yes, 2 and 3. And so, like, on top of the fact they're staying alive consistently, they have more paint than the people of WALC in the same position. Pencil and, like, the tent, or even things like the other 3 weapons. If you have a 2 for 2 situation, WALC has a paint disadvantage in this. So I think in Game 9, they may have to slightly change their comp just a bit if we go to Game 9 to try to switch that script a little bit, Cactus. But we'll worry about that if we get to Game 9, because right now Splatlanders up 2-3. If they can win the next 2, we won't be going to Game 9.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be going over to Tower Control and Inkblot Art Academy. I'm wondering if, I believe it was WALC last time, to switch to the machine for more ledge opportunities. And if they do, Inkblot is a solid map to take that kind of ledge control, especially when you're pushing that tower forward for first checkpoint towards second, taking control of the bats and lower pit levels. And it looks like we're not going to see actually a comp change at all coming out of WALC. They're staying the same, and so will Splatlanders, besides switching over to that Octoshot for the strikes. So not too much of a comp changes here. Both teams are feeling confident in what they've been playing so far as this game goes forward.
Roller gonna go down. The tent really weak. They don't know they're sharking there. They're sharking behind. Look at this tent. They survive. They don't in the end, but they could have gotten 2 or 3 there. They were so close to a really good play. But it doesn't matter. They do help their team push up. The team gets the advantage. They have a numbers advantage, Cactus, as we get into checkpoint 1.
Yeah, and the strikes coming on out to get this roller going forward will be great. With the Zuka to help with the let them supply a bubble up front. Splatlanders are just rolling through that first checkpoint, looking to continue towards the second, as Siam will go and get one, go and get another, and with the paint by Chris is going to try to find one more player, as Electronic will grab above them in the bats area, as that is the second checkpoint cleared, steamrolling to the third.
I don't know if they're going to get third, but hey, checkpoint 2 is the hardest to clear, and Splatlanders did it within the first minute. Huge advantage if you're Splatlanders, and they still are getting picks. They have a numbers advantage, so they might be able to push this tower again towards that third checkpoint. But even if they don't, they have a nice advantage through 3 minutes to try to push towards a knockout. But they are going to go 3 down. I think that will be for sure the end of the push this time. Finally, though, but the first 2 minutes, they had fantastic control of this game.
Yeah, with those first 2 minutes going directly to Splatlanders. A nice pick by Chris there, trying to keep this momentum forward, looking over to see if they can pick on this blaster, somehow staying alive, barely in that range for the blaster to go forward. Players are all going to go down except for the tent on the side of WALC. They're still in a defensive hold. They have to try to find a breakout opportunity, but Splatlanders are not making it easy for them.
Crab again in a fantastic spot, but the roller gets behind it. Balls just in time. Good defense by the pencil to save their Crab. But the Crab still eventually goes down. Checkpoint 3 in contention. Bubble on the tower. Tent on the tower. Lots of defense numbers. Disadvantage. The Doolies tries, but no. Just like that, another decently quick knockout for Splatlanders. It's either a really close game or Splatlanders is pretty much in domination, Cactus.
Yeah, and you know, Splatlanders did a great job. This game kind of reminded me of that Rainmaker game. Just how quickly Splatlanders were able to find those pick opportunities on WALC and start pushing the objective forward. I mean, we saw how quickly they were able to take control of not only the plat, but also the bats area, that top left spacing that you're seeing now on the replay. Having that much paint control down on the floor for you to move around and make things very difficult for WALC. And it just kind of felt like WALC couldn't find a good opportunity to push in forward. They were getting captured in a lot of tricky areas, tricky spots, especially here on this final push. Just the pencil alive, it made it really hard for them to get any of those players from Splatlanders off of tower. Just a great display of the forward aggression that they needed to secure this game, making the score 4-2.
All right, we are in a situation where any of the next 3 games goes to Splatlanders. This is their championship. So finally, this is the first time it has not been back-to-back, each team taking one. So for the first, we had 1-1, 2-2. Now we are at 4-2. WALC been putting up a really, really good fight. But finally, Splatlanders is able to take a little bit of lead. But we are going back to Rainmaker. We saw Splatlanders absolutely shred in the last Rainmaker game. Can they do it again and win this championship, or are we going to have another really close game where WALC is able to get that victory, as we saw in the Clamblitz and the earlier tower control game in Shipshape?
Yeah, absolutely, Krakenmir. I mean, hopefully WALC this time is thinking about what they did wrong that previous Rainmaker game, whether that be get too close to the Rainmaker pop or leave one of their sides unprotected. They have to try to change something up, especially because now they are one game away from, unfortunately, losing the finals. And I know that they're probably feeling like they're a little bit on the back pedal here. However, a lot of teams, though, seem to perform better in certain situations like that. And without any more speculation, let's just see if they can do just that. Splatlanders and WALC diving in towards forward for the Rainmaker pop, seeing who's going to be able to get that pop first for a little bit of more paint movability. It's going to go straight to WALC.
They get it, but Splatlanders quickly puts up the pressure. Clover able to get one. Can they get the second one? No, but the Rainmaker's going backwards to Cactus. Able to get another one. If they can get this Rainmaker here, they're going to be losing points on grab. Jerry rushing forward technically gets the Rainmaker in a positive situation, but it costs their entire team. WALC having an opportunity to score big here. Multiple specials ready. We saw the crab already going out. Can they get this checkpoint? I think that would be a big push here if they can get it. But eye for an eye, Cactus. It's going to be close.
As Pisto is going to go forward, it looks like they were able to break through that checkpoint, and they still have a little bit of a player advantage. It's Clover up front trying to pop the Rainmaker, getting jumps in. It's going to be Splatlanders on the defensive side, but they are coolered up, and specials are coming on out. It's going to be an eye for an eye here. As you mentioned before, players still constantly going down. Sion will get one player, looking for two more. We'll get one more on electronic, and it's going to leave just the Zap alive, as Splatlanders will pick up this Rainmaker and try to push it forward through mid, but they got a lot of paint control they need to make up for.
Good defense there by Splatlanders after having a numbers disadvantage, only losing the checkpoint. You know, would be nice to have held that checkpoint. It's really early in the game. You don't want to lose it that early, but if you're going to lose it with that delayed wipeout that they had, they were able to quickly rally on defense here. WALC going to do the same, quickly rallying on defense, but Jerry says, nah, my wiper's going to go ahead and get a double, and we're going to try to keep pushing this, and the rest of the team is jumping in. We do see the bubble out from the roller, but I think Azuka just killed the Rainmaker, Cactus.
You love to see the Zuka clutch on up. Jerry, though, has been a menace in this spawn area for WALC, getting all these players down. They still can't get that pick. All right, there we go. Pick is going to go down. Player advantage seems to be coming in for Splatlanders. They're getting these jumps in, and I want to point this out. I just realized it now. WALC opted for a little bit more of a paint pressure comp with the Zap. Now, I'm not sure if that's going to be really a good opportunity for them to take advantage of it, as Splatlanders will get through this checkpoint, and in a player advantage here, they're going to get a quick little lead swap, unless the pizza will grab it and stall it just a little bit longer for their teammates to come on back and try to apply more pressure on the front foot.
Little interesting. Yeah, I didn't even notice that they swapped off pencil. You're right. Somehow we missed that in there. But lead's going to go in Spanish Splatlanders. That's going to be multiple down there. That is good play, though, by the Zap. Able to slow it down. The rest of the team there, 3v3, and make that a 3v2. But people keep away, and that Zuka just says, nah, we're going to stop the push here. But a good push for Splatlander. Jerry's being a menace! Able to get another point, Cactus.
Jerry sneaks on through, stalling the Rainmaker for one more point, causing WALC to stop all of that momentum they had to push forward. And I love Sion here trying to go in and get a pick on the 10th. They will get one, they will get two. Blaster will take them out, and that is a player disadvantage now for WALC. All that space that they could have taken is shut down so quickly by these players on Splatlanders, doing a great job at holding space, sharking around, making it really hard for them to move in and out. I mean, WALC has an opportunity to push this Rainmaker further forward. I think of these player advantages, 2 players down. They have just that front spacing they need to take for this Rainmaker, but they have players like Jerry just behind them. But a nice direct will close that out.
Minute remaining. Clover looking for more picks. They are, as we saw them get Jerry finally. But the Zuka comes in, cleans up their teammates. Jerry going to try to get the Zenzap in the corner. They're going to not get him this time with that speed buff. And with that, the Rainmaker is going to go start going the other direction. Some players out of position. Never mind, they're all going to trade here. Jerry going to go for the kill again. Cactus, Jerry is really playing this game well. They're saying, hey, we don't want to go into game 8 and 9. We want to finish it out here in game 7. Cyan able to get another double. Cactus, 30 seconds remaining. Not a lot of time.
No, and if there's an MVP for this game, it's tied between Jerry and Cyan. They're doing an excellent job at going forward, getting these picks where they need them. Another nice pick on the Zuka user. Jerry will go down. It's going to be another player down, though, for WALC with only 15 seconds left on the board to go. They're going to hold this Rainmaker in a corner. The final 10 seconds will come down. They're trying to play forward, get these picks where they are, but Jerry's a minute being forward. Clover diving and trying to find a pick on the Rainmaker, but it's not going to be enough. And that's gonna be the game. Splatlanders securing the win for a score of 5-2.
They used the new part of the map. This map, just got renovated not too long ago, using that new little indent to their advantage, along with their different players in front of it. Hey, you have to drop down on us. Well, unless you flank all the way around, which is obvious, or you drop down and just right into our faces, you can't get us. We saw the flank. It just came a few seconds late. The NZAP, I think it was, got damage on the Rainmaker, just didn't quite get it. Clover misses the direct. They had one opportunity at it. They had to try it, which is the right play to do. You see here, they try it, they shoot in between, and we see the NZAP get one hit on the Rainmaker before the game says, yeah, no, it's over. Sorry. The judge said it's done.
Yeah, and I love the effort. Go all in. You have one opportunity, and they took it. And I love to see the efforts there. You just got to do what you can, especially when the timer is counting down. You have players getting pulled every which way. And, Clover just tried their best, and I love that for them, giving it their all. One player, I think that was a 10, tried to come from behind them as well to get a good pinch opportunity. But if only they had just 5 more seconds on that clock, they could have had it done.
Yeah, just a little bit more time. This Rainmaker, really good position. I really like that. It was a good play by Splatlanders, where you're not putting it in a really bad back position, where if they kill you, they have a chance to just really score quickly. They had to score from mid. It was effectively like the Rainmaker was in its a neutral position. So really, really smart play there by the Splatlanders to get this set. And I want to shout out to WALC here. They got more games than they did in week 1. So that was they did get more games, and I'll tell you what, outside of that one, the Rainmaker and the tower control game, these games were very, very close. Splatlanders able to keep the 100% win rate in zones, but I'll tell you what, it was a fight to do it.
I have to agree with you there, Kraken Mayor. I mean, these games, the 5-2 score doesn't tell the full story, and I love mentioning that whenever viewing sets or telling the story of sets, because a lot of these games, like you mentioned, were very close. A lot of opportunities that WALC was getting Splatlanders on the back end and making them have to kind of think a little bit. What can they do to break out of this defensive hold that they're in and try to push things going forward? So they did an excellent job making Splatlanders have a little bit of a run for their money there and making things a little bit difficult to push things forward. And although Splatlanders were able to secure it, WALC did not go down without a fight.
WALC didn't. They played really, really well. Shout out to the pencil. We see some of the stats here coming up. They went 12-2 on that game that they got knocked out on. Really, really good job there. But we can also see Jerry and Cyan doing some good work, getting some nice picks there for Splatlanders. And I think the big thing is it was so back and forth. A lot of those picks came as a group, though, towards the end, and that's when they got the knockout. It was like, bam, bam, bam. They just kind of got a double wipeout on them. But before that, it was pretty much back and forth. And statistically, it was probably actually a slight advantage for WALC at that point if we were to have a snapshot at that.
Yeah, absolutely. This was the game that really was causing a lot of pressure, too. Being the first game, it was such a back and forth. And even looking here at game number 2, tower control on ship shape. I mean, just a matter of only 3 points is what it took for WALC to take it forward. I mean, I'll be still looking again. A solid 22-2. That's how you know you have a solid pencil on your team. Being able to do a great amount of coolers. 8 coolers in that game, matching with Jerry as well. I mean, making sure that your team is never low on drinks. Just a great display.
Man, these games were so close. It was a really good set for for a 5-2. A lot of these games were so close for what the winning team. But I'll tell you what, it was very interesting. for these D2 finals, and but Splatlanders able to go 8-0 on the season. Cactus, they able to get the sweep of D2.
Yeah, and that's a solid record to have, and put it on, even put it on your wall, because I mean 8-0, and also securing a 100% zones completion rate is an incredible feat that's probably, to my knowledge, probably never been done before, and I mean just for any mode, mind you that. So being able to secure not only a nice 8-0 sweep of the Division 2, but also securing a full mode 100% completion rate it's got to be an honor to have.
Yeah, really, really cool. I love that. I think we have actually later tonight, we have one team trying to secure a perfect season. I remember some people talking about that. One of the finals. I'm not sure which division. Is it D4? I'm looking right now, but I know we have one team looking for a perfect schedule. So yeah, it's our D4, which actually, funny enough, will be coming on at 8 p.m. tonight. So we'll highlight the schedule here in just a moment. But first, I want to highlight after all of these finals are done, what is our next official CCA announced event? And that is Riptide. Riptide is gonna be back in beautiful Sandusky, Ohio. Of course, I'm TOing it, so I will admit my biases here. Sweet, if you like me, you get to deal with me. But Riptide, an awesome event out there in Sandusky, Ohio. And we will be having. I want to first highlight: if you sign up by May 31st, you save $10. So try to save some money. You know that lets you get us a little extra food. We like food. Hey. I do like food myself. And of course, we have a CCA side event there at it. Last time, it was a it took a reverse sweep for our winners to win, which was a really awesome event. Everybody was around there, standing around. It was insane event. Really, really love it. And if you like CCA, no matter if you are a viewer, like many of you here on the Twitch are, an active player, if you can get a team together, make sure to sign up. There is a link there. Along with that, if you have any questions or whatnot, you can contact us in the Splatland servers, and I will gladly assist in answering any questions.
Absolutely. So I've been active visitor of Riptide myself. It's going to be so exciting to see teams for the CCA come out and compete at LAN in person. And of course, if you've never been to a LAN and you've always been on the fence regarding it, I highly suggest you attend, whether that be as a spectator or a competitor for either the CCA or just the regular Splatoon brackets, because it is an unbelievable feeling, an event that you don't want to miss out on. Riptide was actually my first ever LAN I've ever personally went to, and ever since then, when I went as a spectator, I now go to whatever major I can to compete, because it's just unmatched.
Yeah, LANs are amazing. But you know what? We're going to go ahead and wrap up for this little session. But I want to highlight, we have 4 more finals still to wrap up all today. We have Division 4, which we talked about. We have a team going for a perfect every single game win in Division 4 at 8 p.m. Eastern. We have the Div 5 finals at 9 p.m. We have the Div 1, which is our, of course, Crown Jewel Div 1 at 10 p.m. Eastern. So those are the 3 that will be here on the CCA Twitch. And for on Splat Tourney, we have the Division 6 finals also at 10 p.m. Eastern. So pop up 2 tabs on your computer, watch them both. You know, it's going to be an amazing event. And I'll tell you what, I'm really, really excited to go ahead and watch that D1 finals, especially of ISU versus UCSD. UCSD is one of the along with Purdue, who we just saw, mind you, or we just saw you in the D2 finals, one of the Purdue teams. They were the other half of what formed to be CCA, which was UCSD and Purdue coming together. So, hey, can the UCSD get a title of the organization that was put together by them?
Absolutely, that makes me more excited than ever. I had the pleasure of actually going against some members of UCSD at Low Tide City, and I could certainly say, as a player who went against them, you don't want to miss this set. They are strong players, they have a lot they bring to the table, and they do some very fun comps that you are going to be shocked by and you don't want to miss. It's going to be quite the event.
Alrighty. I think it is time for us to wrap up. Congratulations again to the Splatlanders and on their Division 2 final, or Division 2 championship. Jeez, I'm trying to give them a trip to the finals. Now, they won the finals! Heck yeah! Congrats to them. We're going to go ahead and see you all soon. Cactus, where can people find you?
You could find me over on YouTube and Blue Sky and Twitter at Glitch Cactus, as well as Twitch, doing my own fun streams at Glitch Cactus 1. And Kraken Mayor, it's been a pleasure to commentate with you. Where can we find you?
You can find me at KrakenMayor77, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, whatever other place. It's always KrakenMayor77. You'll find me around. Appreciate y'all, and you all have a fantastic night. And thank you to our producer, Vapor, for putting this stream together.